Hey everyone, it's getting to be Christmas time, so since I finally have a VCR that works hooked up to a TV, I figured I'd dig out all my old Christmas tapes and I want to talk over some of them with you because being able to watch these again brought back so many memories. So first up, we have right here a public domain Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer tape. This is crap, I can't remember who it was that made this cartoon, but it's the one where Santa says, "I need you tonight," and then Rudolph writes a little note to his parents, "Dear Mommy and Daddy," dear spelled like the animal. And, oh, interesting thing with this, the cover's completely faded away, or the top label on there. That is weird. I don't know how that happens. Like, it used to, like, it was just like it's always in this box. I don't know how in the world it could have faded away. Like the box hasn't faded at all. So that's really weird. So anyway, the second thing on here is Candy Town with these little Felix looking things. Let's see, they're in a boat, they go up to the moon's made of candy, and then they get chased away by a castor oil bottle and a spoon. Sure. And then there's Christmas Dream, which I think was a thing with like a doll dancing around. I don't remember. And then Snow Magic, which isn't even really a Christmas movie. I guess it's kind of a winter to spring movie. There's this little goat boy, a bunch of centaurs, and there's an old man Winter trying to keep Winter around or something. I don't really remember. Okay, next up we got, let's see. Little Audrey, Santa's Surprise, and a couple other cartoons. This is a pretty interesting little cartoon. I haven't watched this since, since I was like a really little kid. So it was neat watching this again. I started watching this, and it's all about Santa going around the world delivering presents, and the kids want to give something back to Santa, so they stow away in his sleigh and go to his house and they clean it up for him. And it's a neat little cartoon. And at the beginning, I'm seeing Santa go around the world, and they have all these different kids around the world. I'm like, wow, the cultural representation in this thing is pretty impressive for like the 40s or 50s or whatever. And then we see the black kid who, okay. Like, I appreciate the effort, but anyway, the next cartoon, Pups Christmas, is like a kind of unpleasant cartoon with these puppies being treated pretty horribly until the end when they, I don't know, happy ending. I didn't really watch it. Then the last cartoon isn't Christmas at all. It's not even winter themed. Cartoon Portrait, which is, I think, spelled wrong on the back. They spell it cartoon, but it's spelled like Tune in the actual short. Whatever. It's about a lion conducting an orchestra of animals, and stuff happens. The weird thing with this tape is it's green. Also, you can't see the tape in there, so I took a chance. I was hoping there wasn't any mold in it. The back of it's really weird looking too. I don't know what in the world is up with this tape. And then the other weird thing, there's no latches on the side of it. It just, like, bends up. This is one of the most unusual VHS cases I have ever seen. It is very bizarre. Oh, and there's no tab on it. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it was designed without any tab on it. So that's really interesting. I'm really curious if you could record off of this. I like this tape too much. I'm not going to, like, even try, but, yeah, very, very unusual tape there. And then next up, we have Sylvester and Tweety in Gift Wrapped, which unfortunately this tape has mold in it. It's not a lot, but it's more than I want to risk in my VCR. Oh, this is nice. Color top label. That's pretty rare for VHS tapes. So anyway, this is the Looney Tune of, let's see, Sylvester and Tweety, or crap, I can't remember exactly what's going on. There's Sylvester, Tweety, Granny, there's a bulldog, and everyone's trying to eat each other. And in the end, Granny just puts tape over the dog and cat's mouth so they stop trying to eat Tweety. And then next is Christmas Visitor, which is a really cool cartoon. It's very stylized. I wish I could have played this, so I could have put up footage of it, because it's a really cool looking cartoon, and it really burned itself into my brain as a kid. There was so much stuff in there that like really stuck in my head. The sound effects also are really cool, and the music is nice. Everything about it is really cool. And then the last thing on here, Star of Bethlehem, is just a really boring cartoon with It's not even a cartoon. It's live action silhouettes in front of a backdrop, very blandly telling the story of Jesus' birth. It's okay. Another tape that I couldn't play because unfortunately it's got mold on it. It's not too bad. It's not the worst I've seen, but it's still more than I want to risk. Oh, this is interesting. The front of it doesn't actually have written out what's on it. Instead, they just put a label here, and they were like, yeah, you write what's on it, I guess. So anyway, let's see. The Night Before Christmas. The first thing on here is a black and white thing. I can't remember a thing about it. I think it's live action. And then the second thing, First Christmas, on the back, it says Black and White Puppet Show. I don't remember a thing about that. And then this has Christmas Visitor also. Maybe that short is cursed, and that's why the tapes with it have mold. The last thing on here, though, is really cool. It's Santa Claus's Punch and Judy Puppet Show. I really liked that short. It's really funny. It's just these puppets just beating the crap out of each other for like 10 minutes. There's an uncut version of that short, too, I've seen around. It's on Riff Tracks. There's a really bizarre part in the middle where a couple of blackface puppets come and headbutt each other. It's a complete non sequitur. It doesn't like add anything. It just comes right out of nowhere. And on this tape, it's actually cut out. It's just the Punch and Judy parts. It doesn't have those headbutting puppets. So cool, kids classics. Good on you. Kids didn't need to be seeing that. Okay, next up we have It's Christmas Time Again, Charlie Brown. And this really wants to promote that it's the first Peanuts Christmas special since 1964 or something. Okay, oh, and this belonged to somebody called Amanda something, and then they ran out of room, and I can't read what their name says. Anyway, this is a pretty interesting looking tape. There's nothing written on the top of it, and on the spine of it, there's the Shell logo. Yeah, the old gas station Shell logo, which is interesting because when I was little, I had this taped off a TV. Or I don't think I taped it. My grandparents probably taped it back in the 80s or whenever it came out. And there was a Shell gas station commercial. I used to watch that tape so often. I have the commercials burned into my brain. When I watch this and there's no commercials, it feels wrong. Because I'm watching this and I'm like, where's the shampoo commercial? Where's the Lego commercial? Where's the Shell miles ahead? It's kind of like the joke in here where Peppermint Patty talks to Marcy about she watched a movie or something and she says, I didn't understand the part with the soap or the shampoo or the something. And Marcy's like, those are the commercials, sir. Oh, this is interesting. The top label's printed on and there's a little image of Snoopy there. Isn't that cool? I don't usually see like artwork on these top labels on US tapes. That's a cool thing. This is really nice to have. Oh, the other thing, the version we had taped off TV, the beginning was a little bit cut off, and also was the very first thing on the tape, and the beginning of the tape was all staticky. So there's just audio for a few seconds, and then the video comes on. And so the beginning, like first 4 or 5 minutes of that special, I rarely saw when I was a kid, because I was always watching the version we had taped off TV. This is an interesting thing. Pokémon, Pikachu's Winter Vacation. This is a collection of 2, like, OVA specials or something of a bunch of Pokemon playing in the snow. Or, well, the second one is, the first one is them playing in a cabin around a Christmas tree. And it's pretty cool. I don't really care for the new song they added. Over the opening theme, there's a very obvious American added song, and man, it is just... Like, I'm sure kids out there who watched this when they were younger have nostalgia for it, but for me, I did watch this as a kid, actually. I used to have this, like, with all my Pokemon tapes, which I gave away years ago. We only kept this one because it happened to be in the closet with all the Christmas stuff. Oh, and here's an interesting thing. Look at that derpy snowman there. What is that thing's story? Why does it look so out of place and wrong? And then on the back, we have some stock art of characters, and there's a random Kangaskhan there, because there's a Kangaskhan in the second episode, or OVA special, whatever. There's the tape, not really anything super unique or special with this. Oh, and Togepi's on the cover, because Togepi is pretty big in these. Oh, one of the really weird things with these, let's see, Ash, Misty, and Brock. This is the Ash, Misty, Brock era of Pokemon. you don't see their faces, oddly. The first one, you just see their legs like it's a Tom and Jerry cartoon or something. And then the second one, you only see the kids from the back. Very strange. I don't know what the creative choice for that was. I got Now, one of the things that's really interesting with this is when I was younger and I was into Pokemon, one of the things I always found fascinating was the concept of a story focusing entirely around just the Pokemon without the trainers, without humans. And this is kind of the closest I ever got to that, along with some of the shorts that they would have before the movies, like that one, I think it's at the beginning of the third movie, where the Pokemon meet some Pokemon that live in the city, and there's this giant, like, dumpster house thing that tips over, and they're all trying to keep it from tipping over, and eventually they get it back up, and everything turns out okay. I always found those kind of stories fascinating. I always liked the idea of, like, what do the Pokemon do when they're not with their trainers and everything. So this was kind of interesting for that. But, yeah, it's just kind of a fluffy Christmas thing. It's not super deep or anything, and I was kind of surprised. I did not watch this much as a kid, but it really burned itself into my brain because I was watching this and all these memories came back of, holy crap, I remember all these things the characters are doing. I remember the sounds they made. I remember Pikachu making faces in a Christmas bulb. It's a Wonderful Life. A while ago, I found, let's see, at a flea market or something, I got a box of tapes, and there was a big clamshell of It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, and it says, original uncut version. Now, I'm really used to seeing a version we taped off TV, so there's probably a couple scenes here and there that were cut out for the TV version, and I did notice when I was watching this, there's a couple of scenes I was like, I don't really remember that scene, I don't really remember that scene either, and I don't know if it's because I'm so used to seeing the version we had taped off TV, or they were like cut from most versions, or whatever, I don't know. And then a while ago, I was looking in the hallway to see if there's any more Christmas stuff to dig out, and I found, oh, there's this other Wonderful Life tape we had, and then I saw it still has the little tab on there, on the side of it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if there's anything on the end of this. So I put it in, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I remember why this is just sitting in the hallway. It's because I taped Bob's Burgers over this. So yeah, I never took the label off for whatever reason, and I taped over nearly this whole thing with Bob's Burgers episodes a couple years ago. It's probably because we had Wonderful Life on tape, we had DVDs of it, I'm sure there's a Blu-ray of it lying around somewhere, and then I got this tape also, or well, this I just got last year, but yeah, it's not a hard movie to find, so that's probably why I went and taped over this with Bob's Burgers. I don't know why I was taping Bob's Burgers. I don't think I ever went back to watch it often. Okay, next up, this is something I got a little while ago. Camp Candy Christmas. Yeah, the John Candy cartoon that barely focuses on John Candy. Most of it's about these stupid camper kids down here. I got this a while ago, and I just got it really just for the novelty of like being able to say, I own a Camp Candy cartoon tape. Isn't that cool? It's not a very good cartoon. It's kind of ugly to look at sometimes. It doesn't sound very good. John Candy is likable as always. He introduces the thing in live action segments. He pops up to give environmental tips in between the shorts on here. That's kind of cool. The actual cartoon itself is pretty lame. Let's see. The first one is a Christmas Carol parody about the rich, snobby girl Vanessa. I think that's her name. She's also the only kid character I kinda like. The rest of them are very... I mean, she's a cliche, generic stereotype too, but the others are just, ugh, I really don't like them. They're like cereal commercial kids or something. There's a second cartoon on here, let's see. Hit the ice for a hilarious hockey game, and... Okay, the second one is where, like, the evil mayor and his kids are trying to close the camp down for some reason. I don't frickin' remember. This was not a good cartoon, but... Again, it's just fun to have for the novelty of being able to say, I own a Camp Candy tape. Here we got Doug's Secret Christmas on tape. This is really cool to have. Nothing really special with the tape itself. Anyway, this is the Disney Doug Christmas special episode, whatever. This is the one where his mom has a baby and she names it... There's a gag early on and it... Watch it for yourself. It's really funny. This is probably one of the best of Disney's Doug run. I've been watching, let's see, Disney Doug and Nickelodeon Doug, and I kind of like Nickelodeon Doug a little bit more. I don't know. I don't really know. I have more nostalgia for the Disney's Doug, because that's the one I saw when I was younger, but I've been watching Nickelodeon Doug. That one's really cool, too. And, oh, one of the weird things with this, if you look at the tape, there is zero indication that there's anything on this except for Doug's Secret Christmas. But there is actually a second Doug short on here, which has nothing to do with Christmas at all. It's, I think, just the next episode, because it focuses on the baby. Gremlins. Yeah, the best Christmas movie. You're up there with Die Hard. I do really like watching Gremlins at Christmas, just because, like, the first half hour or so is, like, almost all Christmas stuff, and then it switches into more horror stuff, and there's a little bit of Christmas stuff throughout the movie. Not really anything super special to say about the tape itself. The box is nice. I really like this. I have a lot of nostalgia for this. We bought this tape, and at the time, our electricity was disconnected because we were getting a new house in. So we had all my tapes boxed up, and this was on top of it. And every day I would pass by that box and see this tape and just think, oh man, I really want to watch Gremlins. And I never could. And eventually, we got moved into the new house. We got the electricity hooked up, we got the VCR and the TV set up, and this was, I think, one of the first things I watched once we got it all sorted out. Okay, next up is Annabelle's Wish on tape. I'd like to find this on DVD, but the DVD is expensive and rare for some reason. No idea why. Like, the tape is relatively easy to find. But yeah, for whatever reason, the DVD, hard to find. Unless you live in the UK, then you got it for free with newspapers or something. Weird. Anyway, good Christmas movie. It's got a really crazy voice cast. There's a bunch of, like, really bizarre voices in here. Let's see. Randy Travis, Cloris Leachman, Jerry Van Dyke, Jim Varney, and then there's Rue McClanahan, and, Kath Soucie does the voice of young Annabelle there. I'm pretty sure it's Kath Soucie. It sounds just like her. Yeah, really good movie. I like this one. Power Ranger tapes. Right here we have Alpha's Magical Christmas. Not very good. When I was a kid, I remember I found this and I had never heard of it, so I was kind of excited to watch it. But then I watched it and I was like, wow, this is terrible. And then it just went in the closet and I never pulled it out again. And let's see, that original tape is long gone. I don't know, I might have just thrown it away, because I don't know anybody who would actually want it even. This one I think I got like in a lot of Power Ranger tapes, and I just decided, well, I'll keep it. Oh, one of the weird things with this, there's a trailer at the beginning for some Christmas movie I've never heard of called Christmas Reunion or something. I don't know, it looks really boring. Doesn't look like the type of thing that would appeal to a kid watching Power Rangers. Then again, this tape doesn't really seem like the type of thing that would appeal to kids watching Power Rangers, so whatever. And next up here we got I'm Dreaming of a White Ranger, which apparently belonged to Kenya. Okay, thanks, Kenya. Let's see. It's really loose in the box because the box was filled with a bunch of silly stuff. There was like a little punch-out Christmas ornament. There was commercials. There were tattoos, stickers, whole bunch of silly stuff that came with this tape, and it made it so the box is puffed out and the tape slides out really easy. Anyway, I watched this a little while ago, and I'm so used to watching the DVD of Power Rangers that I have. This is just a normal episode, I think, on the DVD set. But on this tape, there's a whole bunch of extra stuff that isn't in the actual episode. There's a part where they're in the command center. Before they go to the North Pole, Zordon says, "There's someone who wants to say something to you." And the viewing globe comes on, and there's Kat. Just for no reason, there's Kat, okay. Then there's a bunch of stuff at the juice bar that I don't remember from the DVD, and this tape is a lot longer than the actual episode seems to be, so that's really interesting. The Iron Giant, it's not really a Christmas movie, but there's snow in it. It's like at the end of November, so yeah, this is like around the right time to be watching Iron Giant. Any time is a good time to watch Iron Giant. So, I think that's about it. I have a couple other things lying around here and there. I have a Tasmanian Devil tape that has a Christmas short where, let's see, Taz is being transported in a plane. He falls out the plane. He falls into some red underwear, gets a Santa hat. he goes into Bugs Bunny's house, and Bugs Bunny is babysitting his nephew, and the nephew thinks that, that Taz is Santa, and then Bugs is reading the Christmas list to Taz, and Taz is eating the Christmas list. Um, oh, and then I don't have Rudolph on tape, but I do have Fairly Odd Parents Channel Chasers, and there's a Rudolph parody segment. It's all in CGI, not stop motion, but they do a good job of emulating the look of that cartoon. And also, Channel Chasers has some Christmas nostalgia to me because I got this for Christmas, and it was like one of my favorite presents. I immediately watched it like 5 times in a row or something. I really liked this movie when I was a kid. I haven't watched much of it lately. I watched it like once a while ago. But I was really just making sure it worked in my VCR. I wasn't really watching it to like watch it. I was kind of distracted doing other things, and I don't know if it holds up exactly. It probably doesn't hold up as well as I'm remembering, but I think I'd still like it. I like old Fairly Odd Parents stuff. Anyway, I think that's all the Christmas stuff I want to talk about. I don't think there's anything else like super Christmas related here. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.